Get ready for the action because Gina Carano has spoken out after her intense loss to Ronda Rousey. We dive into the raw emotion of this moment as Carano reveals what it truly cost her on the mat and the incredible journey she took to get back in the fight after a long hiatus. Find out how she handled the pressure and what advice she received from a legend in the sport. '26, exploring exactly who should consider an adjustable rate mortgage versus a fixed rate loan, and what the fine print really means for your future finances. And finally, we bring you a developing local story. A man was shot in the arm at Indian Oaks Apartments in Fort Valley, Georgia, and is currently recovering in stable condition. We follow the investigation as deputies work to identify the suspect in this developing case. Stay with us for all the latest updates, and don't forget to subscribe for your daily roundup of all the biggest news. Noi Dung Kai Tight. Gina Carano has released her first statement following her loss to Ronda Rousey, reflecting on her return to mixed martial arts after a 17-year hiatus. The fight concluded in just 17 seconds after Rousey submitted Carano with an armbar. Despite the defeat, Carano emphasized the rigorous preparation she undertook, including dropping 100 pounds before stepping into the cage for her comeback bout. /n/n on Monday, Carano shared her emotional state on Instagram, stating, "This was one of the best rides of my life. I felt locked in fight night. No fear, just focused, positive adrenaline. Love to my team. My heart is heavy. I wanted to throw, battle, win, but I kicked when I should have moved and was down and done. If I hadn't tapped, she would have broken my arm as it had begun to crackle. The disappointment of losing like that is very humbling." /n/n Carano also sought perspective from former two-division UFC champion Jon Jones, who attended the event. Jones encouraged her, asking about her return after 17 years and questioning her preparation. Carano expressed that hearing such validation was exactly what she needed. /n/n The preparation for the fight was extensive, involving intense weight cutting, returning to training camp after a long break, and navigating stringent regulatory processes. Carano detailed the physical toll of the weight loss, describing it as a science experiment where she focused on achieving a 100-pound deficit, learning healthier methods through trial by fire. She also highlighted the strict requirements imposed by the California Athletic Commission, which included multiple tests and weigh-ins. /n/n Looking ahead, Carano confirmed her commitment to fighting again. She expressed gratitude towards MVP co-founders Jake Paul and Nakasa Bidarian for their support and praised Rousey, acknowledging the history made together. Carano lauded the production quality of the event, stating, "I'm so glad the world got to experience this version of Ronda Rousey. We made history again. I hope Most Valuable Promotions, MMA, and Netflix continue on because they crushed it. Respect where respect is due. It was such a great experience. Thank you all for showing your support. It's because of you we get to face our fears and live our dreams." VMware has initiated its exploration into the ARM processor ecosystem by releasing a first public preview of ESX for ARM systems. This development signals the virtualization giant's strategic move to integrate ARM processors more deeply into data centers and edge environments. Documentation indicates that VMware now has a functional version of its hypervisor operating on ARM-based servers, supporting hardware from HPE and Gigabyte featuring Ampere processors, as well as a Supermicro server equipped with an NVIDIA Grace chip. Currently, this preview remains a limited test version. Key VMware components, such as VSAN for hyperconverged storage and NSX for network virtualization, are still absent. Furthermore, VMware advises users to maintain a separate management structure, requiring ARM clusters to be managed via a distinct vCenter installation running on x86 hardware. Despite these limitations, VMware is expanding accessibility through its desktop software. New versions of Workstation and Fusion can now connect to external ARM-based XC systems, enabling users to access virtual machines on ARM servers directly from existing management environments. This initiative aligns with a broader market trend: the growing adoption of ARM processors due to their superior energy efficiency compared to traditional x86 CPUs. This efficiency makes ARM architectures increasingly attractive, particularly for demanding AI workloads and edge deployments. Hyperscalers like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft, and Google are actively promoting ARM processors as a viable alternative to conventional server architectures, emphasizing their balance of performance and power consumption. While VMware has noted that customers are primarily experimenting with ARM platforms and remain cautious about large-scale workload migrations, a definitive timeline for the final ESX on ARM release has not yet been set. This move occurs amidst ongoing competitive pressure on VMware, intensified by challenges related to its revised licensing model following the Broadcom acquisition. Competitors are actively targeting customers by offering alternative solutions, such as Platform 9's appliance-like private cloud and NetFrame's free edition targeting smaller VMware deployments. Mortgage market analysis is highlighting adjustable-rate mortgages, or ARMs, as a potential financing option for homebuyers. While fixed-rate mortgages remain the dominant choice, ARMs offer flexibility for specific scenarios, such as plans to rent out or flip a property, or for buyers anticipating a move before the fixed period ends. Approximately 92% of mortgage holders opt for fixed-rate loans due to the stability of consistent interest rates. However, ARMs cater to about 8% of borrowers who see them as a strategic opportunity. ARMs typically feature an initial fixed interest rate period, often ranging from 3 to 10 years, followed by adjustment periods where rates can fluctuate based on various economic factors. Common structures include the 5-1 ARM, which features 5 years of fixed rates followed by annual adjustments, and the 10-6 ARM, which locks in a rate for 10 years before adjusting every 6 months. Various other terms exist, such as 3-1, 7-1, and 10-1 ARMs. Potential benefits of an ARM include being suitable for those saving for a down payment, such as utilizing a high-yield savings account. If circumstances change, for instance, if a borrower decides to stay in a home longer than anticipated, refinancing from an ARM to a fixed-rate loan is a viable strategy. This process mirrors a standard refinance, involving shopping rates, submitting documentation, closing on the new loan, and paying off the existing mortgage. Navigating mortgage options requires careful consideration of both the advantages and disadvantages of ARMs. Experts advise consulting with a trusted loan officer to determine the most suitable mortgage product for individual needs. Fort Valley, GA. A man sustained a gunshot wound to the arm on Sunday at approximately 3:00 p.m. at the Indian Oaks Apartments, prompting an active investigation by the Criminal Investigations Division. The victim was transported to a local medical facility shortly after the incident and is currently reported to be in stable condition. Deputies were notified of the shooting, and upon arrival, the victim had already been taken to the hospital. Following contact with the victim at the facility, the Criminal Investigations Unit assumed control of the investigation. Authorities have not yet identified any suspects in connection with the shooting.